Hello and welcome to Yoga 413. My name is Tauni and I thank you for joining me for this gentle, slow-paced yoga practice today. This class is going to be perfect for someone just starting out on their yoga journey or any yogi that's just seeking a gentle practice. We're going to begin in a comfortable seated position on our mat. If you have a block, you might want to get that and keep that handy. It's not necessary, but I will show you a couple places you can use it. So get what you need and let's begin. So we're going to begin our class today in an easy seated position. You are welcome to sit on a blanket or pillow if this is not comfortable for you. We won't be here too long, but just have a seat. And I invite you to close your eyes, just your hands resting on your knees or cradled in your lap. Take a nice big inhale in through the nose, sitting up tall. Exhale through the mouth and release your shoulders. Practicing again, big inhale. Exhale through the mouth and let it go. So I invite you to just maintain that rhythm of your breath. And now just beginning to breathe in and out through the nose. Letting go of any feelings of competition or judgment or any expectations. Just being grateful for our bodies and for our time on the mat. Bring your hands into a prayer position at your heart. I invite you to set a personal intention for your practice today, your why. Maybe it's a word or mantra, anything you want to focus on. So open those eyes and reach your arms up over the head, turning your gaze up, bringing the hands down through the heart center as we begin to match breath and movement. Sitting up tall, exhale, releasing down. Reach the arms up over the head, and let's take that right arm down to the mat and just stretch over through the left side of the body, leaving the sits bones down on the mat. Let's reach it back up. Take that inhale. As you exhale, that opposite hand comes down. Just take a nice stretch through that side. Gently guiding that chest open by pulling the arm back. Lifting back up. Taking that right hand over to the left knee and gently turning to gaze as you sit up tall for a gentle twist. Just taking that gaze over the shoulder. And then switching sides. Opposite hand to the opposite knee. Sit up tall. Exhale, gently twist. Coming back to face the front, let's switch our legs. Put the opposite foot in front. And now we're going to keep our hands connected to the knees and flow through some seated cow and cat pose. So with that breath, as you inhale, I invite you to just gently draw your heart forward, gazing up. And then as you exhale, round the spine back, tuck the chin towards the chest, belly muscles pull in. Inhale, open. And exhale, sink, stretching into that back. Just a few more times here at your own pace, just awakening all the muscles around the spine. Let's do one more full cycle of breath. Good, then coming up, finding that neutral spine. And now we're going to just face our mat and come into an extended child's pose. So you can bring your knees wide, sit the hips back onto the heels with feet touching. Walking the arms forward, we're just stretching into the back, the hips. Any movement here that feels good, take it. And then gently rest. So if you're just starting out, this might not even be comfortable for you. So you could always use the block to place here on the heels to keep those hips elevated. That might be more comfortable if you're just starting out. That's a way to use that block. Now we're going to lift up and come into our first down dog. So bring those knees in line with the heels. Tuck the toes under and begin to press the hips up and back. And gently begin to alternate bending your knees, pedaling out your feet. It's a great stretch for the calves all down the back of the legs. Take a moment here and notice your hands. You want your fingers spread wide and you want the weight distributed throughout the entire hand, not just on the palm. Now find some stillness in your down dog. Find your pose. Heels reaching for the mat even though they may never touch. And if your back is feeling a little tight, you're welcome to always keep those knees a little soft, gently bent. Now you're going to turn your gaze forward and just start to walk the feet forward. Take as many steps as you need to the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart. I want you to hinge forward from those hips. You can bend those knees. Reach the top of the head down towards the mat. To our first forward fold. Now on that next inhale, lengthen the spine and take your hands to your shins into a half lift. This is called Ardha Uttasana. And then exhale back into your fold, or Uttasana in Sanskrit. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. So we're going to roll it up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Pulling those belly muscles in. Once you come up, just relax those shoulders down away from your ears. Gently bend both knees and sit your hips back for chair pose. So if this becomes too much for your arms, you're welcome to just bring your hands to your heart or even to your thighs. If not, keep them extended. As you inhale, just come right back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's gently flow through that, just warming the body, sitting back into chair pose, and then standing it up. One more time, just sit it back into chair, and come up. We're going to move into Warrior One, keeping the right foot connected. Step the left foot back. That back foot's about 45 degrees out to the side. Feet hip distance apart into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. We're going to go into our first balance posture. So you're going to start to sweep and just lean forward into a diagonal position. So from here, you're going to go into Warrior 3, shifting your weight forward, lifting that back foot up off the mat, trying to drop the outer part of that left hip, and then rise back up slowly, bending your knees, arriving back in chair pose. You're doing a great job. Standing up and coming into mountain pose. Stepping your left foot back for Warrior One, front knee over ankle, low ribs pulled in, back leg strong and straight. Sweeping the arms down to your sides, lean forward into that diagonal position. As you begin to shift your weight forward, lifting that back leg up for Warrior 3. Bringing the feet down, sit back into chair pose. As you inhale, stand it up, reach up, gaze upward. As you exhale, slowly hinge forward from the hips. We're going to arrive back into that forward fold. As you inhale, lengthen the spine, gaze forward, flatten your back, and fold. As you inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Arms up, hands to the heart center. Stepping the left foot back, we're going to open up this time into Warrior Two. So in this pose, you want to be sure shoulders are over your hips, knee over ankle, and you should be able to see your big toe on the inside of that knee. Arms extended, gazing forward. Warrior Two. Now straighten that forward right leg. We're going to come into triangle pose. Begin to lean forward, and without falling forward or back, just place your hand wherever it lands on the shin, maybe on a block. This is a great place to use a block for support. Never feel like you have to reach the floor. Once you just continue to lengthen here through the back, and you have just a small micro bend in that forward knee so we don't hyperextend that knee. Start to rise back up. Bend that right knee. Check to be sure knee over ankle. It's not collapsing in. Now lean forward, just kind of like we did with that previous diagonal. Take that forearm to the thigh for supported angle. Lifting up. We're going to come all the way up. Turn your toes to the corners of your mat. Let's take one sun pose. So with the palms up, you're just going to bend both knees. This is great for stretching the legs, but also strengthening them. Try not to hold on to any tension in the shoulders. Then stand it up. And we're just going to pivot to the back of the mat. So turning those right foot in, left toe straight forward. Bend that knee. Find Warrior Two. Straightening that leg, we're going into triangle pose. If you're using that block, you can place it on the inside of that foot, lean forward, hand to the shin, the ankle, the block. Just keep lengthening through the side body. Lifting up out of the pose, re-bending that knee, returning to Warrior Two. Again, start to lean forward. Lengthen, lengthen. Bend at the elbow. Place that forearm above the knee. Supported angle. Lifting up. Get this block out of the way. Turn the toes to the corners again. Adjust your stance. Bend the knees. Sun pose. Now straighten the legs, reach the arms up, and this time you're going to turn your toes forward in line with the heels. You can soften the knees if you need to. Fold forward, hinge forward from the hips. We're going to go into a standing straddle stretch. Top of the head reaching for the mat. You want your weight on your feet evenly distributed. So if it's all the way back in the heels, see if you can roll forward a little bit. Now nice and slow, use your hands. And you're just going to walk your hands to the front of the mat. And you're going to step back to downward facing dog. You want your head in line with your arms. Tailbone lifting. Dropping the knees to the mat. Walk the hands back so you're in a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Let's go into bird dog pose or spinal balance. So we're going to extend the right arm and the left leg back. Releasing and switching sides. Left arm, right leg. releasing out of the pose. And now we're going to do a great stretch. You're going to walk the hands forward. This is called puppy dog pose. So you keep your hips over your knees. Just keep lengthening your arms forward. You do not have to take your chest down to the mat. If it does, you just want to gently bring it down, and your chin. Keep lengthening through those arms. Gently start to walk those hands back in. And now we're going to lay down onto our bellies. Bring it all the way down. So we're going to practice Cobra Pose today. So your hands are right by the chest, and you want your elbows drawing in. And then as you inhale, just lift the chest up, keeping your elbows bent. So focus here not so much on how high you come, but focus on the strength in your back. Gently release. Try that again. Inhale. And then gently release. Let's try that one more time. Focus on strengthening your back rather than pushing so much through the hands. And release. Beautiful job. Sweep the arms to the sides. Your palms are going to face inward. As you inhale, lift that chest again, but this time come into locust pose, lifting the back of the legs as well. Great strengthener here for the entire back side of the body. Releasing out of the pose. Let's take a child's pose. That was a lot for the back, so let's push it back. Coming into a rested child's pose as you begin to soften the muscles in the back. Release, let go. So help yourself up to have a seat on your mat. We're going to swing the legs around. We're going to take our right foot to the inner thigh. Sit up nice and tall as you can. And this is another one. If those hamstrings are really tight, you can sit on a block or a blanket. Not reach it up. And exhale, hinge forward. Never worrying about how deep into the stretch you go. Just that you feel that nice lengthening in the back and that hamstring all down the back of the legs. Beginning to sit up and release. Let's switch sides. Extend right leg, left foot comes in to that inner thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Reach it up. Exhale over that leg. Sitting up. Let's extend both legs out this time. Shake them out for just a moment. Little massage. Find those sits bones. Reach it up. Exhale over the legs. So focus here on lengthening out of the back, hinging forward right here from your hip crease. Relaxing forward, just enjoying that stretch all down the back of the legs in the back. Now we're going to start to roll it down one vertebrae at a time using control. You could always hold on to the legs if you needed support. Hugging the knees into the chest, gently rock side to side. Let's place both feet on the mat, hip distance apart, arms to your sides. We're going to lift up into a bridge pose, so start to press through the feet as you lift the hips up. Walk your shoulder blades together and down the back. If you needed support, take your hands to your low back.
If you want a little bit more, you can add a chest expansion underneath the body. There's always lots of options in yoga, depending on what you need today. Releasing from the pose. Let's take a stretch here for our hips. So we're going to cross right foot over left knee. You're going to reach through the legs, grabbing on behind the thigh or even up to the shin. And then just gently guide that thigh a little bit closer to the chest. You're trying to keep that knee out to the side. Let's release and switch sides. Left over right. Lift up, reach through. Releasing, we're going to extend both legs out. I want you to just reach your arms over your head and take a nice full body stretch. Then bring that right knee into the chest and gently guide it down. If you can't grab above the knee, even behind the knee is fine. Gently pull. And now we're going to twist into our spine twist, just dropping that knee across the body. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can turn and gaze down that opposite arm. Coming back onto your back, take a full body stretch, lengthen everything out, and then draw the left knee into the chest. And then when you're ready, dropping across into your spine twist. Returning back onto your back. Hug both knees in, one more massage here for your back, gently making some circles or side to side. Now we're going to spend a couple of minutes in Shavasana, probably the most important pose of the class. Seems like we never take time to truly relax. So let's practice here, extending the legs, allowing the feet to just naturally drop away from each other, closing the eyes, arms at your sides with palms up. I'll be back with you in just a moment. So begin to bring stillness into the body, but most importantly, the mind. I'll be back with you in just a moment. When you're ready, begin to take some deep awakening breaths. Begin to wiggle the fingers, the toes. And then soften the knees, roll over onto your right side. And we're going to pause here for just a moment acknowledging something or someone that you're grateful for today. Then gently help yourself up to have a seat on your mat. You did an amazing job. Thank you so much for joining me for class. Let's take one more deep cleansing breath, reaching those arms up, bringing the hands to the heart center. And from my heart to yours, namaste. Have a blessed day, and thanks again for joining me for class. Hey y'all, if you are still here at the end of this video, I invite you to connect with me on Instagram or Facebook. You can find me. And if you love this class, please hit that like button, consider sharing it with a friend, and I'd love to hear what you loved about the class. Have a great day.